Hello friends, welcome to another lecture of machine design. My name is Aprup Rao and I welcome you all to our Unacademy Gate ME YouTube channel. My friend, in the last lecture we started the most important topic from Gate point of view, design of brakes. I told you every year there will be a numerical from Gate. Okay, so in the next year also you can expect one numerical from this topic, and in the last lecture we completed one type of brakes, which is shoe brakes. In today's lecture we are going to complete design of band brakes. Okay, so there are two types of brakes that we need to design. In our syllabus we only need to design two brakes, shoe brakes and band brakes. In the last lecture we saw shoe brakes. In this lecture we are going to see design of band brakes. Now if you are visiting our channel for the first time, let me tell you something about our channel. So this YouTube channel, Unacademy Gate ME, my friend, is India's only YouTube channel which is dedicated to mechanical engineers, where live classes are being taken. We take live classes of all the subjects of mechanical engineering, only mechanical engineering. And this is my team, my friend. This is my team which consists of the top educators, top faculties of India in the field of mechanical engineering, my friend. Okay, so don't waste your time and subscribe our channel right now, my friends. Subscribe our channel and press the bell icon so that you will get the notification of all the lectures, my friend. Whenever we will be live, you will be notified and you will never miss a lecture. And my friend, in order to grow, we need your support also, right? We need your support also. So don't forget to share this video, my friend. Don't forget to share the link of this video with at least 3 of your friends. Copy the link and post it on your Facebook or your WhatsApp and send it to at least 3 of your friends. In that way, my friend, you will be helping us in order to grow. And if we grow, then we will be able to post more and more lectures. We will be able to do more and more for you guys. Okay, so don't forget to share this video. And my friend, hit the like button right now. Hit the like button right now. It is like an online attendance. So mark your presence and hit the like button right now, my friend. Okay, now we have a few more offerings for you. We have our own Telegram channel called Unacademy Gate ME. This is the name of our Telegram channel. And we post all the PDF of the lecture notes, study material, everything in this Telegram channel. Okay, so don't forget to follow this Telegram channel also. The link is given in the description. This is the link which is given in the description, my friend. Okay, so don't forget to follow this. You will get all the lecture notes, all the study material in this Telegram channel. Okay, and we also have our own Facebook group which consists of more than 150,000 members. Okay, this is a closed group and we take live Facebook sessions in this closed group, my friend. Okay, so the link is given in the description. So follow this Facebook group also. Okay, now if you're watching me for the first time, let me introduce myself. My name is Aprup Rao, MTech from IIT Kharagpur, and my specialization was mechanical systems design. Then I was recruited by Mahindra and Mahindra and I worked in Mahindra Research Valley, which is located in Chennai. It is the research and development center of Mahindra and Mahindra cars and tractors. All the cars and tractors of Mahindra and Mahindra are designed there. Mahindra XUV 500, Mahindra TUV 300, KUV, every vehicle of Mahindra is designed in Mahindra Research Valley. I worked there for 2 years as deputy manager. My work was related to the design and analysis of the body parts of cars. Then I quit my job because I always had a passion for teaching. So I started teaching afterwards. I've been teaching for more than 6 years now. I have taught thousands of students preparing for GATE and engineering services. And as you see, my specialization is design. My work experience is also in design. So I teach subjects related to design, strength of materials, machine design, engineering mechanics, theory of machines, because I feel I can practically relate them and I can teach them from a practical point of view. That's why I teach subjects related to design. And these are the other members of my team. Some of these members are the top rankers of India. They are IIT graduates and they have been teaching for more than 4 years, 5 years, even 10 years, my friend. Okay, Mr. Devendra Singh Negi, Mr. Amit Dikshit, Prakash Srivastava, Alok sir. We have top educators of India in our team, which who are taking live classes in our YouTube channel Unacademy Gate ME and on Unacademy Plus, my friend. Okay. Now, my friend, in the last lecture we started design of brakes, right? And I told you that we only have to design mechanical brakes, and we saw that mechanical brakes are of two types: radial brakes and axial brakes, depending upon the direction of force. Okay, let's say this is a wheel. Then these forces are known as radial forces, and this force along the axis, if this is the wheel, my friend, then this is along the axis. Okay, so in this direction the force will be axial force, and in this direction the force will be radial force. Okay, so if the force is radial force, then it will be called a radial brake, and if the force is axial, then it will be called an axial brake. Okay, what is the example of axial brake? Disc brake, which you might have seen in your bikes, disc brake. Okay, now radial brakes are of two types. If the force is coming from outside, then it is an external radial brake, and if the forces are coming from inside, then it is known as internal brake. Okay, examples of external brake are shoe brake and band brake, and I told you that we only have to deal with these two brakes. Okay, we only have to deal with these two brakes. So in our syllabus we only have to design shoe brake and band brake, and in the last chapter, in the last lecture, we completed the design of shoe brake. We solved some examples of that gate also. In this lecture we are going to complete design of band brake, and we are also going to solve the problems based on design of band brake. Okay, so let's start with the lecture, my friend. Okay, so first let's understand what is a band brake. So in case of shoe brake, we have a lever and the shoe is attached to the lever. When you apply the force on the lever rotates and the shoe applies force on the drum. In that way the drum is stopped, right? In the same way band brake also works. Band brake also works on the same principle, my friend. There is a lever, okay, but instead of shoe there is flexible band. Instead of shoe there is flexible band, my friend. Okay, the band looks like this. Can you see this? It is a flexible band, my friend. It can bend. It is a flexible band. And can you see this, my friend? Can you see this thing? Can you see this thing? What is this? This is known as friction lining. This is known as friction lining, my friend. Last time I told you that this surface is in contact with the drum, so it should have high coefficient of friction. Okay, that's why it is known as friction lining, my friend. Okay, so this is a flexible band which is attached to the lever. Okay, which is attached to the lever. When you apply force on the lever, this band gets attached to the drum. This band gets attached to the drum. This surface, this friction surface will touch the surface of the drum. Okay, see, this is touching the surface of the drum, so it gets attached to the drum. So the friction force is developed between the band and the drum. Do you understand? Friction force is developed between the band and the drum. How, my friend? When you will apply the force on the lever will rotate and the band will get attached to the drum, my friend. Now there are two types of band brakes: simple band brake, differential band brake. What is the difference between these two, my friend? Look at this simple band brake, my friend. One end of the band, this end of the band, my friend, this end of the band is attached to the pivot or the fulcrum. Okay, this is known as pivot, fulcrum, hinge, whatever you want. Okay, the lever rotates about this. Okay, so this is a pivot, or you can call it fulcrum, or you can call it hinge. Okay, this is one and the same thing. Okay, so one end of this band is directly attached to the hinge. But in case of differential band brake, my friend, both the end, look at this end, one end here and one end here, both the ends are at some distance from the hinge. Here only one end is at some distance. This end is at distance A. This end is at distance A. But this second end is directly connected to the hinge. In this case, no end is connected to the hinge. Both the ends are away from the hinge. Now what will be the difference in the design process, my friend? When we will calculate the value of P, ultimately what we calculate? Braking force, right? Ultimately we calculate what is braking force. How much force do you need to apply? This force P. So when you will calculate the force P, you will get a different equation in this case and a different equation in this case. Okay, that we will see later. Okay, what equation we will get, that we will see in case of simple band brake and in case of differential band brake. So do you understand the simple difference, my friend? One end in simple band brake, one end is directly connected to the hinge, but in differential band brake, both the ends are at some distance from the hinge. Both the ends are at some distance from the hinge, my friend. This is one end, this is one end, both are at some distance. So this is the difference between simple band brake and differential band brake. Okay, so do you understand the working? You will apply the force, the lever will rotate, and the band will be attached to this drum. Okay, the lever will rotate, the band will be attached to the drum, and when it will attach to the drum, friction force will be developed between the band and the drum, which will oppose the motion. So do you understand this? Okay, my friend. Now, my friend, in case of band brake, what forces are developed in the band? Okay, so my friend, you might have seen this in engineering mechanics. If there is a band wrapped around a drum, then if there is no friction between the band and the drum, then tension on both sides, when it will be attached, tension force will be developed, right? When the band will attach, if you apply force on the lever, there will be tension developed in the band. Okay, so if there is no friction, then both the tension will be same. The tension on both sides will be same, T and T. This will happen if there is no friction, but here there is friction, right? So tension on both sides will be different, my friend. Tension on both sides will be different. One tension will be greater than the other tension. Okay, let's consider that T1 is greater than T2. Okay, what is T1 and what is T2, my friend? Tension in band. Okay, tensions in band. Tensions in band. So one tension is maximum tension, other one is minimum tension. T1 is greater than T2, my friend. Okay, but here we need to decide which one will be T1 and which one will be T2, and that is the most important thing. I am telling you, in band brakes, the most important thing, whenever you are solving a problem of band brake, the most important thing is which one is T1 and which one is T2. So let's understand how this you can judge. Okay, how you can decide which one will be T1. So my friend, here I am assuming that the drum is rotating clockwise. Okay, here I am assuming that the drum is rotating clockwise. Okay, clockwise rotation. This is clockwise rotation. Okay, here I am assuming that the drum is rotating clockwise, my friend. Okay, it is clockwise rotation. Okay, so my friend, if the drum is rotating clockwise and you want to stop the drum, then the force or braking torque should be applied anti-clockwise. The torque must be applied anti-clockwise, right? If the drum is rotating clockwise and you want to stop the drum, then you have to apply the torque in the opposite side, right? Anti-clockwise. Okay, now understand this. One tension is less and another tension is more. Okay, the end where tension is more, it will rotate in it, the torque, braking torque will be applied in that direction. Let's say you want to stop this drum. The drum is rotating clockwise, and in order to stop this, you have to apply anti-clockwise moment, right? Anti-clockwise moment. You have to rotate it like this. So which one will be greater tension, my friend? This one should be greater and this one should be less. Then only this band will rotate in anti-clockwise direction, right? Drum is rotating clockwise, so band should rotate, try to rotate anti-clockwise. Then only it will stop the drum. Otherwise, it will start running with the drum. Okay, so the band should apply opposite torque. Okay, so when it will apply opposite torque, if T1 is greater than T2, then T1 will try to move this band in anti-clockwise direction, right? If T2 is greater than T1, if this one is T1 and this one is T2, then what will happen, my friend? This band will try to rotate the drum in clockwise direction, right? This band will try to rotate the drum in clockwise direction, like here, from here to here, because T1 is more. So this will try to pull the drum. Okay, so do you understand? You want this drum to stop. Right now it is rotating clockwise. So the band should apply a torque anti-clockwise. So when it will happen, my friend? When this one is T1 and this one is T2. Okay, now see, this one is T1, this one is more. So it will rotate the drum anti-clockwise, my friend. It will rotate the drum anti-clockwise like this. Okay, like this. Okay, from T2 to T1, it will rotate anti-clockwise and it will stop the drum. Do you understand this much? Do you understand this much? Okay, my friend. Now, my friend, let's say R is the radius of the drum. Okay, R is radius of drum. R is radius of drum, and this theta from this end to this end, this theta is known as angle of contact, my friend. Angle of contact, or it is also known as wrap angle, my friend. It is also known as wrap angle. Okay, and it must be in radians. Okay, now my friend, how will you calculate T1 and T2? Because without T1 and T2 we will not be able to calculate the value of P. In order to finally calculate the value of P, what do you need? You need T1 and T2. You need the force in the band. Okay, in order to calculate P, you need the force in the band. Okay, so we need to calculate T1 and T2. How will you calculate it? You need two equations. The first equation is this equation, my friend. The first equation is this equation. The first equation is this equation. This equation is derived in engineering mechanics, my friend. T1 by T2 equals to e to the power mu theta, my friend. T1 by T2 equals to e to the power mu theta. T1 by T2 equals to e to the power mu theta. Let me write it in black. Let me write it in black. T1 by T2. T1 by T2. T1 by T2 equals to e to the power mu theta. This is the first equation, my friend, between T1 and T2. Okay, ultimately you need to calculate the value of P. So in order to calculate the value of P, the first equation will be T1 by T2 equals to e to the power mu theta. And here you have to keep one thing in mind, my friend. Theta must be in radians. Okay, whenever you are using this equation, keep this in mind. Theta must be in radians. Okay, so T1 by T2 equals to e to the power mu theta. E to the power mu theta. Okay, the second equation, my friend, is braking torque. Okay, the second equation will be braking torque, my friend. Okay, so what will be the equation of braking torque, my friend? What will be the equation of braking torque? Braking torque is, let's say, TB. Okay, so what will be the equation of braking torque? What is braking torque, my friend? Braking torque means how much torque this band is applying on the drum. In order to stop the drum, how much torque this band is applying. Okay, so what will be the value, my friend? Look at this. We need to calculate the anti-clockwise torque. Okay, we need to calculate the anti-clockwise torque. Okay, now what is the torque of T1? It will be T1 into R, anti-clockwise, and T2 is clockwise, so minus T2 into R. Okay, T1 is applying anti-clockwise, T2 is applying torque clockwise. Okay, so what will be the total torque, my friend? What will be the total torque? It will be T1. It will be T1. Sorry. It will be T1. T1 minus T2 into R. See, we need to calculate the anti-clockwise torque. We need to calculate anti-clockwise torque. Drum is running clockwise, so braking torque will be anti-clockwise. Okay, so there are two forces, T1 and T2. Okay, what will be the moment of T1, my friend? T1 into R. Distance is R. And what will be the moment of T2? T2 into R. But moment of T1 is anti-clockwise, moment of T2 is clockwise. So it will be T1 minus T2 into R. So this is your second equation, my friend. This is your second equation. So we have two equation, my friend, and we have two unknown, T1 and T2. All the other values are, let's say, known. So now we have two unknowns, T1 and T2, my friend. So by solving these two equations, we can find T1 and T2. If I give you all these other values, so by solving these two equations, you will find T1 and T2. Once you get T1 and T2, Now what you need to calculate? You need to calculate the value of P. Okay, you need to calculate the value of P. Now my friend, in simple band break, equation of P will be different, and in differential band break it will be different. So one by one we will see what is the equation of P in simple band break and in differential band break. Okay, one by one we will see both these breaks. Okay, so let's first see simple band break. Okay, so my friend, this distance is the radius of drum R, my friend. Okay, now my friend, what are these forces? Now I am assuming clockwise rotation. Right now I am assuming clockwise rotation. So if this drum is rotating clockwise, the band should apply torque anti-clockwise, right? The band should apply torque anti-clockwise, like this, anti-clockwise, like this, from here to here, from here to here. So which one will be T1, my friend? Which one will be T1? This one will be T1, right? Then only it will apply torque anti-clockwise. So this is T1 and this one will be T2. For anti-clockwise rotation, it will become opposite. This is clockwise rotation. So for clockwise rotation, band should apply a torque anti-clockwise. For anti-clockwise rotation, band should apply a torque clockwise, like this, from here to here. Then in that case, this one will be T1, this one will be T2. Okay? So do you understand this? Now my friend, forget about this. Forget about the drum. Let's have a look at the lever, my friend. So what are the forces on the lever? This P force, which is known as the braking force. P is the braking force. T1 and T2 are the band tension. And there are two more forces, my friend. Two more forces. Reaction at the hinge. There will be reaction forces at the hinge. Right? There will be reaction forces at the hinge. Let's call it Rx and let's call it Ry. Okay. Now my friend, which forces are we interested in? We are interested in P, T1 and T2. We are not interested in Rx. We are not interested in Ry. Okay. We don't need these forces. We only need P, T1 and T2. Okay. So my friend, what we will do? What we will do? We will take moment about this hinge. We will take moment about this hinge. Let's call it point O. So what we will do, my friend? We will take moment about point O. So if you take moment about point O, moment of Rx and Ry will become 0. So Rx and Ry are gone. We don't need Rx and Ry. So that's why I am taking moment about point O. We did the same thing in the last lecture also. In case of shoe brake also, we always take moment about the hinge, so that the reactions of hinge will be gone. We don't need this reaction. So what will be the equation, my friend? See, T1 is also passing through the hinge. So moment of T1 is also gone. So now, my friend, we have P and we have T2. What will be the moment of P? P into L, my friend. And this moment will be clockwise. And moment of T2 will be anti-clockwise. So I can write it minus T2 into this distance is A. This is equal to 0. So my friend, if you solve this, what you will get? P equals to T2 into A divided by L, my friend. So this is the equation of the braking force. I told you T1, T2 can be calculated from those two equations. T1 and T2 can be calculated from these equation, this equation, this equation. Solving these equation, you will get T1 and T2. All the other values are given, let's say. So from these two equations, you will find T1, T2. And then when you will put the value of T2 here, you will get the value of P. But this is for which rotation, my friend? This is for which rotation? This is for, this is for clockwise rotation. Okay, this is for clockwise rotation. Clockwise rotation. For anti-clockwise rotation, what will happen, my friend? For anti-clockwise rotation, what will happen? For anti-clockwise rotation, what will happen, my friend? You just need to replace T1 with T2 and T2 with T1. What you have to do, just interchange the values of T1 and T2. So what will you get, my friend? What will you get? What equation will you get, my friend? Just replace the value of T2 with T1. So what equation will you get, my friend? P will now become equal to, instead of T2 you will get T1 into A divided by L. Okay, T1 into A divided by L. Instead of T2 you have to now write T1 in case of anti-clockwise rotation. So T1 into A divided by L. This is the equation for anti-clockwise rotation. Do you understand this, my friend? So very simple equation, but you don't have to remember this. I told you last time also. You don't have to remember this. You can always take moment about point O and you will get these equations. Okay, you take moment about hinge and you will get this. I am just trying to explain using this derivation. I am just trying to explain what will be the equation of P. But you don't have to remember the equation of P. You have to remember these two equations. You have to remember these two equations, but this equation can be found using equilibrium equation. Take moment about point O and you will get this equation. Okay, so this is in the case of simple band break. Do you understand? In case of simple band break, equation of P, T2A by L for clockwise rotation, T1A by L for anti-clockwise rotation. Very simple derivation. Now let's see differential band break. Let's see differential band break. So the radius of the drum is R. The radius of the drum is R. Okay, and my friend, what will be these forces? Clockwise rotation. So band should apply anti-clockwise torque. So this one will be T1. This one will be T1, T1. This one will be T2, T2. Okay. Now my friend, again what I have to do? I have to take moment about point O. Why? Because I don't want the hinge reaction. Here also there will be hinge reaction. Here also there will be hinge reaction, but I don't want these hinge reactions. So what I will do? I will take moment about point O. Again, I will take moment about point O, and I am doing this derivation for which rotation? Clockwise rotation. Okay, for clockwise rotation. For clockwise rotation. For clockwise rotation. Okay, so for clockwise rotation, my friend, if you take moment about point O, if you take moment about point O, what you will get, my friend? P into L, and this moment is clockwise, right? This moment is clockwise. This moment is clockwise. Okay, moment of T2 is anti-clockwise, and moment of T1 is again clockwise. Okay, moment of T1 is again clockwise. Okay, so clockwise, anti-clockwise. Okay, so write the equation P into L minus T2 into A. Minus T2 into A, and this time, my friend, this time T1 will also apply a moment, because this time T1 is not attached to the hinge. In this case T1 was directly connected to the hinge, but here T1 is at distance B from hinge, so it will apply a moment T1 into B equals to 0. This will be the equation. So from here what you will get, my friend? P will be equals to T2A minus T1B divided by L. You will get this equation of P in case of differential band break, my friend, for clockwise rotation. For anti-clockwise rotation, what you will get? For anti-clockwise rotation, what you have to do? I told you, for anti-clockwise rotation, what you have to do, my friend? For anti-clockwise rotation, just replace T1 and T2 with each other. Just replace T1 with T2 and T2 with T1. So what you will get, my friend? What equation will you get for anti-clockwise rotation? P equals to, my friend, what will you get? What will you get? Instead of T2, now write T1. T1 into A minus, instead of T1, now write T2. T2B divided by L. Right? So this is the equation for anti-clockwise rotation. Now my friend, compare these equations with simple band break. Compare these equations with simple band break. In simple band break, P is T2A by L. But here P is T2A minus T1B by L. For clockwise rotation, P is T2A by L here, but here T2A minus T1B by L. So my friend, here, in case of differential band break, this P is getting reduced, right? This P is getting reduced. This P is getting reduced compared to simple band break. Now for anti-clockwise rotation also, P here is T1A by L, but here P is T1A minus T2B by L, right? Here T1A by L and here T1A minus T2B by L. So for anti-clockwise rotation also, P is getting reduced. So what does it mean, my friend? What does it mean? It means this brake is a self-energizing brake, my friend. Self-energizing brake. This brake is a self-energizing brake. Why, my friend? Why it is self-energizing? Because the value of P is reduced, my friend. So this is also self-energizing case and this is also self-energizing. This is also self-energizing. Why, my friend? Because here also P is reduced. Here also P is reduced, right? Compared to the last case, here also P is reduced. So in both cases, for clockwise as well as anti-clockwise rotation, in both cases, P is reduced. So this is known as self-energizing brake. So differential band brake is always self-energizing for clockwise rotation as well as anti-clockwise rotation. Yesterday I told you what is self-energizing brake. What is self-energizing brake, my friend? When your P is getting reduced. When your P is getting reduced, then the brake is known as self-energizing. Now last time I told you why P is reduced. Why? Because friction force helps to apply the brake. Here who is helping to apply the brake? Understand this. See, my friend, here P is applying a clockwise moment, right? P is applying a clockwise moment. T2 is applying anti-clockwise moment and T1 is not applying any moment. About the hinge, P is applying clockwise, T2 is applying anti-clockwise, T1 is not applying any moment. But here, my friend, P is applying clockwise moment, T2 is applying anti-clockwise moment and T1 is applying clockwise moment. So here the lever is rotating because of P as well as T1. In the last case, the lever was rotating only because of P, because only this force is applying clockwise moment. In order to apply the brakes, you need to rotate the lever clockwise and only P is applying clockwise moment. But here P is also applying clockwise moment, T1 is also applying clockwise moment. So T1 is helping to apply the brakes. That's why it is known as self-energizing brake and the P value is reduced. The value of P is reduced. Do you understand this, my friend? Do you understand this? In the last case, shoe brakes, friction force applies the brake. Friction force helps in applying the brake and then we get self-energizing brake. But here T1 is helping in applying the brake. So this is also self-energizing brake. Do you understand this, my friend? Do you understand this? Very good, my friend. Very good. Now, my friend, this brake can also be self-locking. So in order to avoid self-locking, what is self-locking, my friend? What is self-locking? Self-locking means when P will become 0, then the brakes will be automatically locked. When P will become 0, see T2A minus T1B, when this will become 0, then it will automatically lock. So you don't want this to automatically lock. So your P should always be greater than 0. For avoiding self-locking, P should never become 0. It should always be greater than 0. I told you in last lecture also, P should always have some positive value. Why? Because if it has positive value, let's say P is 100 Newton, then if you apply 100 Newton, brakes will be applied. If you don't apply 100 Newton, brakes will not be applied. So it will be in your control. But if P becomes 0, means you don't need any force. For applying brakes, you don't need any force. It will automatically apply, right? So in that case, brake will not be in your control and it is called self-locking. Okay, this process is called self-locking. We don't want self-locking. We want the brake to be in our control. So P should always have some positive value. Okay, then only the brakes will be in your control. So for P to be greater than 0, this value should be greater than 0 for clockwise rotation. For clockwise rotation, T2b minus T1a should be greater than 0, right? Look at this. So sorry for this. What is the equation? T2a minus T1b, right? So T2a minus T1b should be greater than 0, or you can write T2 by T1 should be greater than B by A. This is for clockwise rotation. Okay, this is the condition for avoiding self-locking. To avoid self-locking, T2 by T1 should be greater than B by A, and for clockwise rotation, for anti-clockwise rotation, what you will do? Just replace T1 with T2, T2 with T1. So this will become T1 by T2 should be greater than B by A. Do you understand this? T1 by T2 should be greater than B by A. Okay. So these are the conditions to avoid self-locking, my friend. Okay. You don't want self-locking. You want self-energizing brake, but not self-locking. Otherwise, brakes will not be in your control. Okay. So P should never be equal to 0 or less than 0. It should always be greater than 0. So these two are the conditions to avoid self-locking. Okay. So do you understand this much, my friend? Differential band brake is a self-energizing brake, and in order to avoid self-locking, you need to follow these conditions. Okay. So you don't have to memorize these equations. Just take moment about the hinge and you will get this equation. You have to memorize only these two equations, my friend. These two equations. T1 by T2 equals to e to the power mu theta, and TB equals to T1 minus T2 into R, my friend. Theta is what? Angle of contact. Okay. Theta is what? Angle of contact, which is in radians, my friend. Okay. We have talked about this in shoe brake also. Okay. So let's solve some of the problems. Based on this, let's solve some of the problems, my friend. Okay. So let's solve this problem, my friend. This is a gate problem. Okay. This is a problem from previous year gate. Okay. Very simple problem. But I want you to understand the main concept here. I told you it is very important to understand which one is T1 and which one is T2. Okay. It is very important to understand in any problem which one is T1 and which one is T2. And from this example, I will try to explain which one will be T1 and which one will be T2. Okay. So a force of 400 Newton is applied to the brake drum of 0.5 meter diameter. A force of 400 Newton is applied to the brake drum of 0.5 diameter in a band brake system as shown in figure, where the wrapping angle is 180 degree. Okay, wrapping angle from here to here. Wrap angle means angle of contact. Okay, wrap angle means angle of contact. So from this end to this end, this total angle is theta 180 degree. If the coefficient of friction between the drum and the band is 0.25, braking torque in Newton meter is. So in this question, one tension is given. At one end the tension is 400 Newton. So one tension is given and you need to calculate braking torque. Now what is the equation of braking torque, my friend? What is the equation of braking torque? TB is equal to T1 minus T2 into R. So in order to calculate TB, you need both T1 as well as T2. Okay. One tension is given, the other tension is unknown. So how can we calculate the other tension? We have the relation between T1 and T2, right? We have the relation between T1 and T2. What is the relation, my friend? T1 by T2 equals to e to the power mu theta, right? We have this relation. T1 by T2 equals to e to the power mu theta. We have this relation, right? We have this relation e to the power mu theta. So by putting the values in this relation, we can calculate the other tension. We have one tension, we have to calculate the other tension. Now the problem is whether this 400 Newton is T1 or T2. That we don't know, right? That we don't know whether it will be T1 or T2. So let's calculate that. Let's find that out. Okay, let's find that out. Okay, so my friend, one of these tension will be T1 and one of this tension will be T2. Now understand this, it is rotating anti-clockwise. It is rotating anti-clockwise. So this band should rotate clockwise, then only it will apply the brake. Okay, it is rotating anti-clockwise. So the band should apply a moment clockwise. Okay, so in order to apply clockwise moment, which one will be greater, my friend? This one should be greater, right? If you want to rotate it anti-clockwise, then this one should be greater. But if you want to rotate it clockwise, right now it is rotating anti-clockwise. So in order to stop, you have to apply a braking torque anti-clockwise, right? Like this. So which one should be greater, my friend? This one should be greater. So this one will be your T1 and this one will be your T2. We assumed that T1 is greater than T2, right? So this one should be greater, this one should be less. Do you understand this concept? Do you understand this concept? Do you understand? If you want to stop this drum is rotating anti-clockwise. If you want to stop the drum, the braking torque should be clockwise, right? Let's say this is TB, braking torque. So braking torque should be clockwise, and in order to apply clockwise torque, this one should be greater, na? This one should be greater, then only it will apply clockwise torque. If this is greater, then it will apply anti-clockwise torque, like this. Okay, so now you know this one will be T1. So T1 is 400 Newton. Okay, so apply the values, my friend. Put the values. 400 divided by T2 is unknown, equals to e to the power, what is the value of mu, my friend? 0.25 into theta. What is theta, my friend? 180 degree. Now I told you theta must be put in radian. Whenever in any equation, theta is without sine, cos, tan. If you see sine theta, cos theta, then the theta will be in degrees. But if you only see theta, means that theta must be in radians. Do you understand this, my friend? If you only see theta, means theta must be in radian. So 180 degree means pi radian, right? Pi means 180 degree. Okay, so 180 degree means pi radian. So just put the values and you will get the value of T2. Solve this and you will get the value of T2. So solve this, what you will get, my friend? 400 divided by e to the power 0.25 into pi. So what you are getting, my friend? What you are getting? 400 divided by e to the power 0.25 into pi. What you are getting, my friend? What you are getting? T2 equals to 182.37. 182.37 Newton. T1 is 400 Newton and T2 we are getting 182.37 Newton. Okay, so now we have T1, we have T2. So just put the values in the equation of TB. Put the values in the equation of TB. So T1 is 400, T2 is 182.37, and how much will be R, my friend? What is the diameter? 0.5 is diameter. So radius will be 0.25. Okay, radius will be 0.25. So what will be the value of TB, my friend? From here, what will be the value of TB, my friend? Calculate it. 400 minus 182.37. Okay, so this is 217.63. 217.63 multiplied by 0.25. It is 54.4. 54.4 Newton meter. Okay, so this is the final answer. This is the braking torque. This is the braking torque, my friend. So do you understand this concept? I just wanted you to understand which one will be T1, which one will be T2, how to understand this, how to judge, okay, how to decide. So if the drum is rotating anti-clockwise, braking torque must be clockwise. So this one will be T1 and this one will be T2. Do you understand this? Very good, my friend. Let's move on to the next question. Okay, let's move on to the next question. What is this next question? A differential band brake is shown in figure. Coefficient of friction between the band and the drum is 0.4. Angle of lap is 180 degree. Find the maximum braking torque for anti-clockwise rotation of the drum. I told you yesterday there are two types of problems in brakes. In one question, braking torque is given and they need braking force, and in second question braking force is given and they need braking torque. Okay, so in this question braking torque is required, braking force is given. Okay, now in order to calculate braking torque you need T1 and T2, right? Braking torque in band brake is T1 minus T2 into R, so we need T1 and T2. Now in order to calculate T1 and T2 we need two equations, right? What will be the first equation, my friend? The first equation between T1 and T2 will be this relation. T1 by T2 equals to e to the power mu theta. Put the value of mu here, my friend. What is mu? 0.4. And what is theta? 180 degree or pi radian. So what will you get, my friend, from here? From here what will you get? T1 equals to e to the power mu theta. So it will be e to the power mu theta, which will be equals to 3.51. So T1 will be equals to 3.51 times T2. Okay, so this is the first equation between T1 and T2 which we got from this relation. T1 by T2 equals to e to the power mu theta. This is the first relation, but we need one more relation, right? There are two unknowns, so we need one more relation. The second relation can be calculated by taking moment about point O. We can take moment about point O because we know the value of braking force, so we can find another relation between T1 and T2, right? So take moment about point O. What will you get, my friend? What will you get? First of all, which one will be T1 and which one will be T2? If you want to write this equation, this is rotating, my friend, anti-clockwise. Okay, this is rotating anti-clockwise. Sorry, this is rotating anti-clockwise like this. So in order to stop this, we need to apply a braking torque in clockwise direction, right? Braking torque should be clockwise like this. Now, my friend, if you want to apply a clockwise braking torque, which one will be T1, my friend? Which one will be T1? This one should be T1, right? This one should be greater. This one should be greater. Then it will apply a clockwise braking torque, and this one will be T2, my friend. Okay, so this we have already know, this we already saw how to decide which one will be T1, which one will be T2, right? Now take moment about point O. What you will get, my friend? What you will get? Moment of 220 will be clockwise. Moment of T1 will be anti-clockwise, and moment of T2 will be clockwise. Okay, so let's write clockwise moment positive. So it will be 220 multiplied by, what is the distance? 200 minus T1 multiplied by, what is the distance? 100 plus T2 multiplied by, what is the distance? 50 equals to 0. This is your second relation. This is your second relation. Okay, we have one relation between T1 and T2, and now this is your second relation. So we have two equations between T1 and T2. So if we solve these two equations, we can easily find T1 and T2. So by solving equation number 1 and equation number 2, what we will get, my friend? What we will get? Tell me what you are getting, my friend. Tell me what is T1 and what is T2, my friend. Solve this relation and tell me, my friend. Let me calculate it for you. My friend. Okay, so 220 into 200 divided by 351 minus 50. So 146.18, this will be T2. 146.18 will be T2, and if it is 146.18, then T1 will be multiplied by 3.51, 513.1. Okay, so these are the values of T1 and T2 which we got by solving equation number 1 and equation number 2, my friend. Okay, so now we can easily find braking torque. Once we got T1 and T2, now what will be braking torque, my friend? What will be braking torque? TB will be equal to T1 minus T2 multiplied by R, right? Put the values, what you will get? T1 is 513.1. So this one will be 513.1 minus T2. What will be T2? 146.18. 146.18 multiplied by radius of drum. What is radius of drum, my friend? Diameter is 150 mm. So radius will be 75 mm, or you can write 0.075 mm. Okay. So what will be the braking torque, my friend? Calculate it and tell me what will be the braking torque. 513.1 minus 146.18 multiplied by 0.075. It will be 37.42. 37.42 Newton meter. This much braking torque will be developed. Okay, this much braking torque will be developed. So this is another example of braking differential band brake. Okay, this was a differential band brake. Okay, so do you understand the process, my friend? If you know the braking force, how you can calculate braking torque, you need first two equations between T1 and T2. So one is this relation and second is taking moment about 0.0. Then solve this and you will get T1 and T2. Once you get T1 and T2, you can easily find braking torque. Okay. Now this next question is a very interesting question. This is of gate, my friend. This is previous year gate question. Okay. A band brake consists of a lever attached to one end of the band. Okay. A band brake consists of a lever attached to one end of the band. The other end of the band is fixed to the ground. Okay. See, one end of the band is attached to the lever and other end is attached to the ground. Okay. Radius of drum is 200 and angle of band is 270 degree. Contact angle from this end to this end. Okay, from this end to this end, the total contact angle is 270 degree. Braking force applied at the lever is 100 Newton. This is braking force 100 Newton. Coefficient of friction is 0.5. No other information is given, means direction of rotation is not known. Maximum tension that can be generated in the brand during braking is. Maximum tension means you have to find the maximum value of T1. Now in this question, my friend, we don't know the rotation, whether it is rotating clockwise or anti-clockwise. So in this question, what you need to do, assume both the condition and find maximum value of T1. What you need to calculate? Maximum tension. So you need to find maximum value of T1 by assuming both the condition. Okay. So my friend, what we are going to do, first of all, draw the free body diagram of the lever. Draw the free body diagram of the lever, my friend. Draw the free body diagram of the lever. So the lever will be subjected to reaction at the hinge, right? The lever will be subjected to reaction at the hinge and there will be tension in the band also. Okay. So what will be these forces, my friend? What will be these forces? Let's say these reactions are Rx and Ry. And right now we don't know whether it is rotating clockwise or anti-clockwise. So we don't know whether it is T1 or T2. So let me write it only T. Okay. So these are the forces acting on the lever. Rx, Ry, T and 100. We are not interested in Rx and Ry. We are not interested in Rx and Ry. Okay. So what I am going to do is, I am going to take moment about the hinge. I am going to take moment about the hinge. So what will happen if you take moment about the hinge? Moment of Rx and Ry will be gone, right? Moments of Rx and Ry will be gone. Let me copy this in the next page. So if you take moment about the hinge, then moment of Rx and Ry will be gone. Okay, you will only get moment of T. Okay, sorry. You will only get moment of T. So what will be the equation, my friend? 100 multiplied by, this distance is 1 meter. Sorry, we are taking moment about hinge, so total distance 2 meter minus, here we don't know whether this tension is T1 or T2, so I am just assuming it to be T. Okay, so minus T multiplied by 1 equal to 0. So from here what you will get? T will be equals to 200, right? T will be equals to 200. Now my friend, we need to consider both possibilities. We need to consider both possibilities, whether it can be T1 or it can be T2. Okay. Now understand this. If it is T1, then maximum tension is 200. If it is T1, then maximum tension is 200. Okay. Let me consider both the cases. Okay. So case 1. Okay. This T is T1. Okay, this T is T1. So maximum tension will be T1, which is 200. Right? Let's consider another case. Case 2. What will be case 2, my friend? T is T2. It can be T2 also. Okay, it can rotate clockwise, it can rotate anti-clockwise. So if T is T2, then what will be T maximum, my friend? What will be T maximum? T maximum will be T1, which will be equal to T2 into e to the power mu theta, right? T1 by T2 equals to e to the power mu theta. So it will be T2 into e to the power mu theta. What is T2, my friend? 200. What is mu, my friend? Mu is given. Mu is 0.5. And what is theta, my friend? 270 degree. So 270 into pi by 180. Okay. So from here, what will be T1? What will be T1, my friend? What will be T1? Calculate it. What will be T1? 200 into e to the power 0.5 multiplied by 270 into pi by 180. So it will be 2110 Newton. So do you understand this, my friend? Do you understand? In one case I considered that this is T1. Okay. In one case I considered that whatever we calculated is T1. Whatever we calculated is T1. So T1 max will be maximum 200 Newton. And in second case I am considering this to be T2. So if this is T2, then T1 is coming 2110 Newton. So which one is maximum, my friend? Which one is maximum? Which one is maximum, my friend? This one is maximum, right? Which one is maximum? This one is maximum, right? This one is maximum. So this is your T maximum, my friend. So T maximum out of both cases will be 2110 Newton. Okay, this will be your T maximum. This will be your T maximum. Do you understand this, my friend? Do you understand this? How to solve this problem? Do you understand this? We have to consider both the possibilities. This T that we calculated can be T1, it can also be T2. Okay, it can be T1, it can also be T2. Okay, so once I considered it T1 and then I considered it T2. In both cases, I calculated the maximum tension. So maximum tension is 2110 Newton. Okay, this is the maximum tension, my friend. Do you understand this? Do you understand this, my friend? So this was the end of band brakes, my friend. Okay, so in band brakes, we saw two types of band brakes: simple band brake and differential band brake. Simple band brake means one end is directly attached to the hinge, and differential band brake means both the ends are attached at different points. They are not connected to hinge. Okay, so we considered simple band brake and we found the value of P. Then we considered differential band brake and we found the value of P, and we saw that differential band brake is a self-energizing brake. Now you don't need to memorize these equations. You just need to memorize these two relations, my friend. These two relations, T1 by T2 equals to e to the power mu theta and TB equals to T1 minus T2 into R. Another relation can be found just by taking moment about the hinge, my friend. Okay, so try to solve all the problem related to brakes, my friend. Brake is the most important topic from GATE point of view. Okay, every year there is a question, there is a numerical from brake. So this was the end of design of brakes. I hope you learned something today, my friend. Now if you need any guidance for your preparation, my friend, these are my contact details. This is my email ID, approved2008@gmail.com. This is my Facebook ID, approved2008, and this is my Instagram ID approve_rao. So you can contact me whenever you want, my friend. Now those of you who want to learn from me, who want to understand more from me, who want to understand every topic, because it is not possible on YouTube to cover each and every topic. So if you want to learn more from me, take Unacademy Plus subscription, my friend. What are the advantages, my friend? You will have daily live classes. You will have daily live classes, my friend, in both the languages, English as well as in Hindi. Okay, there are batches in English. There are also batches in Hindi. Hindi batch is going to be launched in 1st June, my friend. And English batch is already launched. In a few days ago, we launched a new batch for English, and in Hindi, there will be another batch soon from 1st June. There will be crash course before every exam. Whenever there is an exam, if there is GATE exam, there will be crash course for GATE. If there is engineering services exam, there will be crash course for ESE. If there is Coal India exam, there will be crash course for Coal India. Okay, so there will be crash courses. There will be rank improvement batch, my friend. From 1st June, we are launching rank improvement batch. Okay, we are launching rank improvement batch from 1st June, where maximum number of questions will be solved so that you can improve your rank in GATE, my friend. Okay, doubt clearing session. Every 4th session in Unacademy Plus is doubt clearing. Means 25% of classes on Unacademy Plus is dedicated to doubt solving, my friend. And there will be weekly test also. Okay, now my friend, there are different batch courses running parallelly, my friend, and you can join any batch course. You can take classes from any batch course. Multiple batch courses you can join. Okay, if you take one subscription, it doesn't mean you can join only one batch. You can join any batch you want. You can take this batch as well as this batch. You can learn this batch as well as this batch. You can consider multiple batches. You can join multiple batches. That is the biggest advantage. There are multiple educators, multiple batches running parallelly, my friend. Okay, you can join any batch you want. And my friend, this is how you can learn, my friend. This is the type of visualization you will get on Unacademy Plus platform. Look at these diagrams, my friend. How easily you can understand any topic, my friend, with these colorful diagrams. Understand it with you animations, with these colorful diagrams. How easy it will become to understand any topic, my friend. That is the magic of online learning, my friend. Okay, and there will be doubt clearing sessions like this. See, this is a question posted by a student, and the educator is solving the question asked by the student. So you can send your question in the tool, in the Unacademy Plus platform. You can send your question to your educator, and your educator will solve your doubts. Okay, and my friend, whenever we will give a question, there will be a leaderboard like this, where you can see what is your rank, how quickly you gave the answer, whether your answer was right or wrong. Okay, so you will feel that environment of competition also. Okay, so this is the kind of learning environment that is provided on Unacademy Plus, my friend. So if you want to learn on Unacademy Plus, download the Unacademy Plus app or go to unacademyplus.com in your website. Then pick a goal, my friend. There are different goals. Your goal is GATE and ESE. So pick GATE and ESE. Then, my friend, there are different options: 1 month subscription, 3 months, 6 months, 12 months, 24 months. 1 year and 2 year subscription are less costly compared to these. Okay, 1 year and 2 year subscription are the best. And don't forget to use my code, my friend. Don't forget to use this code. You will get 10% off. And after 10% off, 1 year subscription will only cost 22,500, my friend, and 2 year subscription will only cost 27,000, my friend. So per month, this will only cost around 1,800 rupees, and this will only cost around 1,200 rupees. So can you understand this, my friend? How at very less cost you can get a lot of content, my friend. There are so many educators, and you can take classes of any educator only in 1,800 rupees per month or 1,200 rupees per month. Okay, so you can take the Unacademy Plus subscription by using this code APPROVE10. Apply this code and you will get 10% off, my friend. Okay, and my friend, we have EMI option also. On credit card as well as debit card. But don't forget, to use this referral code approve10, my friend. You get 10% off. Okay, so use this, join Unacademy Plus as soon as possible, because a lot of students have already joined. We have recently launched a batch in English. We are going to launch a batch in Hindi also, and there will be a rank improvement batch also from 1st June. Okay, I will be taking all the subjects related to design in these batches. So join Unacademy Plus, and if you have any doubt regarding the joining or any doubt regarding your preparation, you can always contact me, my friend. These are my contact details. You can always contact me. Free feel to contact me anytime you want. So this was all for today's lecture, my friend. Tomorrow I will present you another very interesting lecture, my friend. Tomorrow I will be back at the same time, 7:30, with another amazing lecture on machine design. Don't forget to hit the like button before leaving, and don't forget to share this video with all your friends, my friend. Thank you very much for watching this video, my friend. I will post the notes, I will post the PDF of the lecture in our Telegram group. Okay, I will post the PDF in our Telegram group. Okay, so thank you very much for watching.